Okay, you guys, we're just ready to get started. Thanks for joining me. Nice to see you all. And my name's Tamara. And let's head back to those mats, or you might be on it. Just find your way down into a child's pose. And spread your knees as wide as you want them to be. Toes maybe touching, and then walk the fingertips forward. And spread yourself out. Take a few breaths for yourself. Just finding a place where you can sink deeply in. Enjoy the movements and motions of your breath. Maybe slowing your heart rate down slightly. Just a couple more breaths here. If your hands are forward, come up onto your hands and your knees, allowing those knees to move just underneath your hips. Wrists can be under the shoulders here. We're going to go ahead and extend that left leg back, push into the toes and the heel, just kind of flushing through. Lifting your leg off the mat. Allow the toes to move forward, so it's kind of awkward rotation of the hip here. And then move that leg forward and move it back. Moving it forward and back. Forward, back. Last time. Set it down gently. The hand that's closest to the foot stays on the mat. The other one reaches up and threads down and through here. And you can walk that top hand off. You can bring it behind you. In all these poses today, and whatever you take or go into, do what works best for you. Listen into your body. Maybe kind of rolling the shoulders underneath you. And bring your left hand and right hand down. We're going to sit back towards that back heel. And we're going to walk the hands away from the leg as far as you want to and pull back towards the left hip. Walk your hands to the middle and then walk them over towards your extended left leg. Kind of fold over that leg, pulling back towards the right hip a little bit more. Come up onto your hands, right hand outside the hip, reach off, and a little modified gate pose. And then have a seat. Bring the hands to the floor in front of you. Restack yourself. Take a few cat-cows. Inhale, really opening up, sending energy shining forward. Exhale, pull it back up and in. Maybe one more. We'll extend now that right leg back. You can push into the toes, draw the heel back. Just kind of flush back and forth. And then lift that leg from the floor. Point the toes out away from you. Bring the foot forward. Bring it back. Forward to your right side, back. Forward, back. Last one. Softly set that foot down. Keep the hand that's closest to the foot on the ground. Inhale, reach the other hand up and open, and then take it down and through. You can grab the outside of the foot, Carefully set your body down and find a nice little twist here. Come back onto your hands. Sit back in towards your hips and walk your hands away from your foot. This side feels totally different than the other side. I don't know if that's your experience, but walk the hands forward and then walk them over towards that lengthened right leg. Pull back. Walk the fingertips in, set that left hand down. Find that modified little gate pose here. Stretch a little bit longer on the right side. Nice. Bring your two hands down. Shins on the floor. Squeeze your legs together. Nice and snug. And then press the tops of your feet into the ground. Lift your knees. Set your shins carefully back to the floor. Curl your toes under here. Try to get them all curled under. Interesting, set your hands in your lap. So if you can even get your pinky toe curled under, that would be great. Interlock your hands, bring the palms forward, lift the arms up over your head, move them over to your right side, find a nice little stretch. Come into the middle, and then over to your left side. Moving center, bring your fingertips down to the floor, set the tops of your feet back on the ground. Walk your fingertips back, lift the knees a little bit, draw the heels in. Set the shins down, fingertips forward, curl the toes back under. Hands in the lap. Interlock the hands, press the palms away, kind of round into your upper back. Inhale, open up towards the sky, move over to the right side, middle, over to your left, center. 5 more minutes, no, just kidding. Fingertips to the ground, curl the toes under, and find a nice little forward fold here, Uttanasana. Hands can be on the ground, head can hang. You could grab those elbows. Kind of let the body weight work itself forward. Maybe just feel everything in your sits bones and your hips. And you could sway a little side to side. Release your hands to the floor and just set your hands underneath your feet. If they'll fit under there, great. If not, you could just keep the elbows in your grasp. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, fold in. Maybe feel the pressure of your toes into your inner wrists. Feel that connection between your hands and your feet. Your hastas under your padas. Find that fold. Fingertips out in front of your feet. Separate your feet just slightly. Set your hands onto your hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. Scoop your feet together. Kind of squeeze in between the thighs. Bring your hands to your heart. Maybe just feeling a little piece of gratitude for this moment and for the minutes that lie ahead today. Looking forward. We'll take a couple breaths here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, releasing breath through the mouth. Inhale deep through the nose. Let that go through the mouth. And one more time. Big inhale. Big exhale. Step up to the top of your mat. Reach your arms up and over you. Hands join up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Set the hands down. Bring your feet to the back of your mat. You know your plank pose. Heels can slip over the toes. Chaturanga, come down to your tummy or your knees. Inhale, lift your heart up. Draw your shoulder blades together. Open up a little bit here. And then roll over your feet. Find downward facing dog. Spread your fingers out. You should have a good grip. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, you can bend the knees or just step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, find that length. Exhale, fold in, face towards your shins. Inhale, rise up. Bring your hands together to your heart. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Fingertips on the ground. This time we're going to go ahead and step that left foot back. Left knee lowers down to the ground. Fingertips help you out here. You always have blocks, or maybe you don't. I'm not at your house, but hopefully you have something if you need it. Lift your heart. Set your hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. Come forward. Plank pose. Bring your knees, chin, and chest to the floor. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One more time, shift forward. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift your left leg high. Go ahead and step that foot forward. Lower the knee carefully. Fingertips ground down. Heart lifts up. Gaze lifts up. And then step your right foot up to meet your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Push your feet down. Inhale, rise. Hands towards your heart. At your sides. Inhale, take that lift. Exhale, find that fold. We're going to go ahead and step that right foot back. This time we won't lower the knee down, so we're going to leave it up. You can bring the hands to the front thigh, to those hips, or reach the arms over your head. Really reach up, use the back thigh, lift through the arch of your foot, and then carefully set your hands down. Find downward facing dog. Shift forward into your plank, knees, chest, chin. Scoop up and forward. Downward facing dog. Plank, chaturanga. Feel free to add on any push-ups, any extras that you have. They're all yours. Lift the right leg high. Gently step that foot forward. Find your time to get stable. Use your hands on the front thigh. You can reach those arms up above you. Make the most of this crescent lunge. Lift the heel. Keep the back leg strong. Find that energy. And then set the fingertips to the floor. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, find that extension. Exhale, find that fold. Push your feet into the ground. Rise all the way up. Let the hands settle towards the heart. And then either side of your hips. Inhale, take a reach, a lift, get tall. Exhale, double over. Fold yourself in half. Inhale, find more of an L shape with the body. Hands down, feet back. Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift your right leg high. Go ahead and step that foot forward. Back heel in and down. Virabhadrasana A. As you exhale, lower all the way to Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. And exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, left side. The big inhale. As you rise all the way up, back heel comes down to the ground. As you exhale, all the way back to the floor. Inhale, lifted hearts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just a few breaths. Let your breath travel. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend those knees or just step forward. Top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find a fold. Fingertips on the ground. Widen your feet a little bit. You can bring your hands behind you to interlock. If you want, you can start drawing your arms over your head. Release your face towards your shins. Let the weight of those arms come down. Maybe body weight comes forward a little bit, but you're still grounded through the heels. Release your hands. Place them on your hips. Inhale, rise up to stand. So we're going to bring our feet either all the way together, touching, right? Or a little bit parted is fine too. We're going to find chair pose. So sink deep into your chair. As low as you want to go. From the side, it's easier to see. You'll reach up through the fingertips, and as you go through, you're going to send the left toes back, but you will not leave them there. Bring them forward. So bring it back. Find your stability. Bring it forward. Try to stay low. Bring it back, like a crescent lunge type. Last time, chair fly. We're going to leave those toes back. Interlock the hands behind your back and lift your heart up to the sky. It's like you're revealing everything, opening up. Your gaze can go up as well. Lift the back heel. And then we're going to open towards a warrior two. You may need to make some adjustments in your footing. Sink in. You can release your fingertips, reaching forward and back. Keep working on it. Sinking a little bit deeper. And let the back hand go to your back leg gently. No weight really there. And then start to straighten the front leg. Push away from that foot. Reach through those top fingertips. Maybe go a little further than you thought. No limits. Rise up. Ready for triangle. If you want to, you can scooch that back foot in a bit. Find your triangle pose. So you may be happy here. You may really like this lengthening stretch. Now stacking the hips. You could take your gaze up. Finding stability with your breath. Our release here is going to be our left hand down inside the right. Lift the back heel and reach through those right fingertips. So nice little simple twist. Listen carefully here. We're going to come up just the way we are in this crescent lunge. Maybe looking back towards your back thumb. Lift the back thigh now. Back fingertips can touch the outside of the leg. Front fingertips can reach up towards the ceiling. Our release is going to be warrior two, but at the back of our mats. So we're going to shift to your left fingertips forward, right fingertips back, warrior two. Sink in deeper here. Find your side angle. If you enjoy forearm resting here, fingertips reaching. If you like something more, hand inside. You could also do hand outside. You've got all your ways. This one's a good one. I mean, all the side angles are a good one. I wasn't referring to just the variation I'm doing. They just feel good. Set your fingertips down to the floor. Step your back foot up. Prepare for a pyramid pose. Balance the hips now. Fold towards that front shin. If you'd like an extra twist here, the right hand can go on the front of the left ankle shin area. The left hand comes through that hole, reaching for the outside of the calf or ankle, and find your twist. Pulling the left hip back and the right hip down and forward. Gently let that go. Set your hands down on the ground. Bring your left toes and right toes to the back of your mat. Exhale your body. Inhale, lift it up. Press the tops of the feet down. Lift the thighs, hips forward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Couple breaths. Lift your heels. Exhale all you got. Look and come forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in, get a little closer. Inhale, rise up. Hands at your heart. Set yourself up for Utkatasana, your chair. Sinking as deeply as you want here. And as you go to the chair fly, those right toes come back. Heart stays lifted. Bring it back forward. Try to stay seated. Last one we're going to stay with. So finding your crescent lunge. You can interlock the hands behind your back, maybe other thumb on top. Heart lifts up to the ceiling. Lift the back heel. Kind of reveal yourself here, shoulders back. We're going to find warrior 2 from here. So set yourself up pretty well. You can release the fingertips. Find that reach. Really stretch your body out. Sink a little bit deeper. Use the strength of your back leg. And then we're going to slide that hand down, straighten the front leg. Find that reach out here. So no weight in that bottom hand. You're just going for it through the strength of your legs. Stretching your side body. Inhale, rise and stand. Shorten the stance if you did on the other side. And find triangle. And some of you might have liked the longer version here. Feels good. We'll lower that right hand down inside the left foot, lift the back heel, reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. So you're taking that simple twist, lifting the back thigh. Slowly find your way up, sometimes precarious. Reach those arms open. Back hand goes down to the outside of the thigh maybe. Top fingertips reach towards the ceiling. And then warrior 2, other side of the mat, right fingertips reaching. Nice work, everybody. Forearm can come forward for this side angle. Feels really good. You really feel that back leg working. Can come down. You could also use a block under your hand. Pivot those hips, draw the shoulders back. And then set both hands on the floor. Step the back foot up. Prepare for your pyramid pose. Remember, chin can go towards your shin. Some people like forehead to knee. Balance off in the hips. If you enjoyed the twist on the other side, this side, left hand on the front of the right shin or ankle. That right hand goes through the hole that you made between your arm and your leg. Grab the outside of that shin and then Rotate and twist. Kind of pretzel yourself up here. Softly release those hands and fingertips to the floor. Step the right foot and the left foot back. Lower down all the way onto the ground here. Kind of scoot your hips side to side. Separate your feet wide. Press the tops of your feet down. Fingertips either side of your chest or hands pressing down into the floor. Rise up. Let the shoulders drop down your back. You can take your gaze over your left shoulder, your right shoulder. Look forward. Go ahead and lower down to your right ear. Put your chin at the top of your mat. Set your hands down on your back. Exhale your breath, so you're stacking those hands. You could intertwine the fingers if you want to. Lift the arms. Lift them a little higher. Press the tops of your feet to the floor. Little higher. Gently release. Set your hands down either side of your chest. And come back to a child's pose. Forehead down, ground in. If you want, walk the elbows forward a little bit. Hands together, prayer pose, thumbs at the nape of your neck or your upper back, and then walk the elbows forward. See what happens. Walk the fingertips forward, draw the knees in a little bit. Anahatasana here. So your chin and chest forward. And then walk the hands back a little bit. So I'm going to offer something here that you can see if it works for you. If not, you don't need to do it. Find a downward facing dog. When we come to the knees, chest, chin, I have a microphone on my chest, so it's a little hard. If you want, interlock your hands behind your back. Lift them here. And then come back to downward facing dog. Find a plank pose. Get your forearms on the ground. Find some time here. You want to have your wrists right in front of your elbows. And just think about getting your right knee up to your right armpit. Left side. Right side, left side. One more time, right. One more time, left. Back to your plank. Back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths right where you are. Nice and cozy in here now. Lift your heels nice and high, and then try to set them back to the floor. Spread your toes out. Look to the top of your mat. Find your way forward. We're going to find that crisscross, so you can stay the way you're facing, but just bring the right arm behind the right calf, left arm behind the left calf. Grab the opposite fronts of shins. Maybe your feet are about one fist apart, and then fold. Get in a little bit closer. And release what you got. Fingertips on the floor. Your toes are forward. Find your chair pose. So sink as deeply as you want. Draw your left foot back. Immediately finding that crescent lunge. Interlock your hands. Open your heart. Find your way into warrior two. Sink a little deeper. Straighten the front leg and the back leg, sweep back. Find your way to triangle pose. Bring your left hand inside your right foot, lift your back heel, reach through those top fingertips. Lift your torso. Maybe the back hand down the back leg, reach through those top fingertips, stretch. And then warrior two, other side of your mat. Find your side angle here. Your version, what you like. Fingertips to the floor. Step the back foot in, pyramid pose. And we'll take a different twist this time. So the right hand inside or outside the left foot. Remember, you can use your block or your book or whatever you have there. Anchor down through the hips and reach up through those top fingertips. Pull the left hip back. Lengthen that side body. Lift. Top fingertips come down, bottoms come down. Feet walk to the back of your mat. Find plank pose. Find forearm plank. Starting on the left side, left knee, left armpit, right knee, tricep or armpit. Take it either side. Maybe hear something in your hips. I do. 50-year-old hips this year. And then hands down and downward facing dog. Couple breaths for yourselves. You guys are doing good. I can feel it. Lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. And then inhale, rise all the way up. Have a nice little seat. Find that chair pose, sinking deep. This time we'll fly the right toes back, finding that crescent lunge, interlock the hands, open the heart up. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg, sway back. Find your trail forward. Triangle pose. Some of you might have lengthened that top arm. Stack the hips. Bring that top pin down inside the foot. Lift the back arch. Reach those left fingertips up. Lift the thigh. Get ready to rise. Take your time. Back hand can slide down that leg. These fingertips can reach up. And then warrior two, other side of your mat. There you go. That side angle. Any way you like it. Getting longer all the time, you guys. Top fingertips to the floor. Step the back foot up and in. Fold into the pyramid. And then flanking that leg. And take the twist of your choice. Left hand inside or outside the foot on a block, a book, a drink, whatever you've got. Pull the right hip back. Finding that stability. Maybe take your gaze up. Another breath. Top fingertips come to the floor. Step that foot, or actually both feet back. Find plank pose. Come to the forearms. It's right knee towards the tricep. Left. We're doing this for a reason, I promise. My hips say so. One more time each side. Hands. Downward facing dog. Full breath. And then come onto your forearms here. You can interlock those hands. Finding this little pose. And sit your knees down to the ground. Tops of the feet. This time knees together. Hips back to your heels. Hands can grab around the feet, kind of bringing forehead down towards the floor. Sweep into your little embryo, nice and safe. Bring your hands forward under your shoulders. Walk them forward. Curl the toes under. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high. Step that foot forward. And move towards Prasarita Padottanasana. It's easier here to see when your hips are not balanced, right? Walk your hands forward. And then walk your hands over towards your right foot. Bend your right knee. If this isn't comfortable to come down this far for any reason, you could have a new hip, something, you can always be up here, right? But we're going to come down here if it's available. I can't see you guys, so I hope you're feeling good. Those toes can kind of flex up towards the ceiling. There's a lot of things people do here, hands to the heart, reach the head. So yesterday I explored this one. If you want to join me, hands on the ground. It's kind of easy because we're not slippery. That knee up towards the tricep armpit area, and then we just lift the foot. And I think if you're like magic, that left foot can come off the floor too. So we do it a couple times, opening into the hips while we're working on it, using your strength in your core. Coming up. So if possible, right foot leaves the ground. One more time. Find your way. And then set that down. We'll come back center. This time we're going to walk our hands underneath. So palms face the floor, reaching back and through. This can feel good too. Maybe crown of the head coming to the floor. You could walk it under a little bit more. Still rooted in the heels. Balancing through the feet. Still breathing fully. And then walk those hands out. Walk them towards your left foot, your back foot, whatever foot you didn't do already. And remember, if it's needed, you can be up here. And it's probably actually more work in a way. So decide what works best. You've got all your, you got the bind too. Maybe you did that on the other side because you were like, oh, that sounds good. All those. If you want to try to do this little balance, hands down, knee up there. And then lift that back foot off the ground, right? It's kind of getting half the feeling of being down. I don't know what it would be like to be able to lift the right foot, but I'm sure someone in the world can. Maybe it's you. And then last one, kind of wedging it up and in there. Bringing it down. Finding Prasarita. This time I would like for you, if available, grab the outsides of the heels, the feet, or the big toes. Sometimes nice to adjust any kind of foot stuff you got going on. Bend at the elbows. Bring your hips over where your heels are. Kind of a little forward. And then place your hands down on the ground. Bring your knees down to the floor. Just very carefully have a nice little seat. So we're going to try right now, and this is a fun one, baby bakasana. So it actually involves being on your forearms, and if this doesn't work for you today, and it may not work for me right in front of you, but I'm going to try it anyway with the mic in here. You can always try your regular bakasana with your hands shoulder width. But we're going to try the forearms down on the ground, and I kind of have to, as I remember it, curl my toes under, forearms down, stick my knees into those armpits, and then lift my toes. My nose is on the ground. See here? Yay! Guess what? It's not far to fall. So try that out. Maybe do it a couple times. If you prefer a bakasana to a headstand, just make sure there's nothing you're going to fall onto as you do something. Make sure all dangerous items are out. And if you want to try baby bakasana again, forearms down, knees are outside the triceps, gazing forward. Yay! Well, and then coming out, right? Nice job, you guys. So sit your knees, just sit right onto your heels here. Take a few breaths. Again, stacking the hands, maybe stacking the other hand on top, closing the eyes. Sinking in deep. Place your hands on your hips behind you, draw your elbows behind, and lift up. We're going to go for camel pose, Ustrasana. So just take your time to get there. Elbows kind of disappear behind you. Lift your heart up towards the sky. If your neck's okay, you could slowly release your head back. Maybe hands to the heels. Lift and open the heart. Take about 3 breaths. Coming back, have a little seat. Again, just a few breaths. Let that pass through your body. We'll set our hands down at the top of our mat. Relocate a downward facing dog pose. Lift your right leg nice and high. Bend the knee, open the hip here. If you like Wild Thing, you can slowly drop that foot behind you softly, reaching through. Right hand comes down to the ground, and go ahead and bring it to a runner's lunge. So back knee can lower to the ground, could stay off, and some of you will be able to probably pretty easily bring your forearms down. For me, it's more of a challenge in those hips. But whatever works, and I just try to work on it. Lengthen the spine. Come to your hands. If your back knee is on the floor, you can leave it there. The rest of us can lower it down. Put your right knees out to the right side, hand inside the thigh, open that heart. Grab for the back foot if you want to. Find your twist. Release what you have. Hands down. Right foot back. Heels wide, toes wider. Come back into this Malasana squat. Sink a little bit deeper. Lift your heart a little bit higher. Come up about just 4 inches or so. Stay with us here. We're going to do little pulses. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Don't get back. 3, 2, 1. Stay with it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sink down. Now it feels better, right? Inhale. Release that breath. Let it go. Walk the hands forward. Downward facing dog. This time our left leg will reach high. We'll bend the knee. Open the hip. Wild Thing if you want to. Bring it back. Getting ready. Runner stretch. Always being careful how you set your body down to the ground. Gently lowering to your point. Back knee could be up or down. And working into those hips. Trying to attract the shoulder and the inner knee. Like there's a magnet drawing them together. Attempting to bring your heart a little bit closer to the floor. Find your way up. Move those toes out at an angle. Right hand down. And bend the back knee. And just find any amount of twist you want. As you let that go, it releases very gently. This time, hands at the top of the mat, back foot steps forward, and back into this little squatty place. So again, find your way up. You can reach those hands forward, keep them at your heart. And we've got the pulses, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 more, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push through and stand. Hope you feel that. You can thank me for that later. Find your waist center. So we're going to do something I did yesterday. I don't know if anyone was here yesterday, but if you were, hope you enjoy it a second time. Lift your right leg up and actually set it down. Set it down. Find a moment. Sink in Tadasana. Grow heavy in your feet and stack yourself up. Shoulders draw back. And then bring your right knee up. Try to balance the hips. And we're just going to carefully set the ankle over the top of the thigh. And right above the knee. Find your, it looks like a perfect number 4 if you're looking at yourself in the screen. And then you can come down as much as you want, right? Some people easily can, they've got those hips, they can open down, fingertips to the floor. You could take that arm balance that you love. It's Ekapada Galavasana, that flying pigeon pose. And then what we do is we grab the outside of the foot. If that doesn't work, you'll grab the outside of the knee and you'll allow the foot or just the knee to come forward, right? And we'll bring it back to the 4. And we'll shut the 4 down a little bit, sink into those hips. We'll go back for the grab, and remember it can just be here. Bringing it forward. Maybe shifting your gaze. Yeah, bring it back. We just have one more. It's all yours. You decide. Bring it forward. Open it back. From center, you can grab under the calf, under the thigh. You can grab your foot, lift it higher, and then softly set it down on the ground. Again, sink through the feet. Feel heavy there. Lift the heart. Feel light there. Left knee up. Finding your balance. We'll shift it over. Looks like a backwards number 4 to me now. And come down. Noticing where you're feeling it. Taking the time, grabbing where you want. With that left hand, reach those right fingertips behind. Oops. With that right hand, reach those left fingertips behind you. Come back into that little closed number 4. We'll find our way out again. Open it up. Come back. Last time. See what you can do. You've had some practice now. You should feel stable. Lift the heart. Widen the collarbones. Reach back. Bring that left hand forward. You can grab behind that calf, ankle, shin, whatever. Thigh, lift the leg, and slowly bring it down to the ground. Shake your fingers loose a little bit, and bring the right foot into the left thigh. So tree pose or calf is good, and it kind of fits there perfectly with the arch of your foot, or you can even slide it further down, just as long as it's not against the inside of your knee. The knee doesn't move that way very well. And also, half lotus. So some of you guys are pretty comfy in your lotus. You can bring your hands to your heart, both of them. You could also bend that knee like we've been doing. Bring your fingertips to the floor or to your blocks. Bend that knee a little bit more, being careful. And some of you right here, hands to your heart. See what you can do. Focus your drishti gaze. Maybe just one comes up. Ooh. Maybe the other. Ooh. And then start to stand. Take your time. Set the right foot on the ground. Shake your hands free a little bit. Left foot up. Finding that position you like. Starting off your tree. You can stay here the whole time. You can interlock your hands, send them to the ceiling, lift your gaze. Some of you found half lotus, and it may be completely and totally different on one side than it is on the other, just depending. And start to bend that base knee. Fingertips to the floor, and then start to bend the knee a little bit more. Finding your little toe stand, maybe lifting the hands to the heart one at a time. Check your gaze, find your breath. Coming forward, straighten that leg. Find your way up. And slowly release 2 feet to the floor. Go ahead and curl your toes under, so as Vanessa would say, the hairy side of your foot is down on the ground. I'd like to think mine aren't hairy, but whatever. I say toenail side down. Curl them under. Stretch the front of your ankle. Walk to the back side of your mat. And softly sink down. Sit your hips to the floor. That wasn't very soft. I gotta tell you, bring your hands behind you to a tabletop place with the feet and lift the hips. Right here, open the heart. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Extend the leg up. Bring it down almost to the floor and up. Almost. Up. One more time. Almost. Up. Knee in. Foot down. Hips touch. They come back up. Left knee into the chest. Extend the leg. Almost to the ground here. Up. Almost. Up. One more time. Up. Knee into the chest. 2 feet on the ground. Lift one more time. Heart opens. Throat opens. And then set your hips down on the ground. Bring the bottoms of your feet together and find this Baddha Konasana fold. Inhale, gently rise up. And we're going to find we just have a little bit of time for this Gomukhasana. So right knee is in front and kind of stacking upon the left, and you have a seat. If this is too much, you're trying to stack the knees, the feet are outside, you could just take Sukhasana like a crisscross with the legs, easy seat, no pressure, right? So finding this here. The right arm can come up. If you want, bend the elbow. Draw the hand down your back. If you know you can find that grip, or you just want to look for it, inner spiral that other arm. And find that pull here. Ooh. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling, kind of pushing that arm back. So some of you, in your gentle release from here, can go into a headstand and cross the legs the other way. So if that's your jam, go ahead. Head down. Make sure your hands are shoulder distance apart. Find your headstand, left leg on top, or whatever you didn't have on top the other side. And bring it down. And find that here, Garudasana. I'm sorry, I know I skipped around saying the arms different, but as long as you get both sides, I think we're all good, right? So whatever side you're on, lift that arm, bend, guide. This side, you can find that grip, inner spiral the arm, look back, fingertips, or maybe you have a wrist. Lift your gaze, push the arm back. Maybe one more opportunity to headstand. Find yours if you like to. If you're just working on the basics, maybe you set your top of your head on the floor, hands underneath the elbows, wrists underneath the elbows, and you come up to the toes. You could stay with that. You could rise up. And then this time, maybe pike down and draw your shins onto the floor. Place your hands, stack one upon the other, forehead on the backs of the hands, and sway your hips gently side to side. Look ahead. Bring your feet out in front of you. Soften down onto your backs. Little bits at a time, kind of rolling back. Heels in towards your glutes area. Fingertips scratch the backs of your heels. And lift your hips off the ground. Gaze right up at the ceiling, wherever you're at. Lift the hips a little higher. Lift the thighs. And then slowly bring the upper back, middle back, low back to the ground. Find it again. This time reach your arms over your head along the ground. So inhale, rise all the way up. Lift, push the feet down. And then take your time, upper, middle, lower, hands by your sides. You can take one more of those or bring your hands either side of your ears. Fingertips come forward, elbows in, get your traction. Exhale and inhale, lift and open, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Open it up. Use your grip and use your legs. Open your heart tiny bit more. Allow yourself to come down to the floor wherever you are, nice and careful, and bring your shins in towards you. So get a grip on both shins, squeeze them down, wrap the arms over the top, and squeeze them just a little bit more here. Hold on to the right knee shin, squeeze it in, left leg long. You can intertwine the hands if you want, or you could just keep grabbing with your forearm. You can extend the leg if you like, grab the outside of the foot, or keep holding here as you find your twist, and you're going to shift your hips behind you. Gaze over your right fingertips. You could also bend the back knee. Set the foot and the shoulder to the ground, and breathe in. That's a tasty one right here. So good, you guys. Let's bring it back. Grab onto both of the shins, so roll onto your back. Grab both the shins in, give it a squeeze. Hold on to the left one, right leg long. Connect it with your body here. Shoulders glue into the ground. You can extend the leg if you like. Grab the outside of the foot. Move the hips away. Take your twist carefully. And then if you did, grab the back foot. Try to draw that shoulder to the ground. And breathe into the yummy right there in that hip. Nice and careful. Bring it back to center. Bring the bottoms of your feet together and bring your knees to either side of the room. Reach your arms over your head any amount. Press the bottoms of your feet together and try to kind of widen and open through the hips by using your feet. Just get in there. Bring your knees together, feet up towards the ceiling. So you can stay here. Hands can be on either side of your hips. If you prefer to take a headstand, a handstand, and you have a safe place at your home to do so, go ahead and do that. We're going to go straight into Halasana if you want to. Try not to look anywhere but over your head. toes come over. You can intertwine your fingers behind your back or just use your hands as a gentle support. Such a good stretch here all the way down your spine. If you'd like to lower your knees down, squeeze in there. You can release your hands, set them down to the ground. Slowly lower your body. Squeeze your legs together. Lower your legs. Prop up onto your elbows, onto the crown of your head. Open your heart up nice and wide. Inhale. Exhale, release your breath. Great big inhale. Exhale, let that go. One more time, big inhale. Make some noise. Set your shoulders down to the ground. Move your feet away from each other and have a wide motion. Tuck your tailbone under slightly. Arms out either side of you. Soften all parts of your face. And feel at ease, light and free. Close your eyes. Get the tongue off the roof of your mouth. And just be here. If you like, take some circles with your wrists, maybe with your ankles at your feet. Spread your toes out. Come alive. Reach your arms above you. Stretch long on one side, kind of lifting one hip and then the other. Walk your knees in. Move them towards your chest. Find a fetal position. Use some support to come up if you're ready to. You can also stay where you're at. Hopefully your hair is a little funky. Hands can be at your heart. Sink deep into your hips, but lift your heart, draw your shoulders back. I want to thank you all for being here with me. I miss seeing you in person, but I'm so glad that you made it in our virtual world to spend some time together to connect to who we are, to how we're feeling, and hopefully we're feeling better, right? Bring your thumbs to your third eye. Have a great day, everybody. Namaste.